Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Next Goal Wins with a video I'm sure you've all wanted to see for a while. A video that we've been hoping would happen for a while. It's a Leicester City transfer video. Now, the player we've signed in question is all around my face right now. It's Demarai Gray, the 19-year-old from Birmingham, really hot prospect. A lot of people talked about him, a lot of clubs chasing him apparently. You've got Tottenham apparently have been linked with him, Arsenal apparently looked at him, Liverpool apparently had a first option on him. That was because Jordan Ibe went on loan a few seasons ago to Birmingham, people have said, but kind of he was talked about as being part of that deal, so they got first option when they were looking to buy him. We know Bournemouth had 5 million rejected last summer for him, and Leicester now have secured his services for 3.5 million. Is the fee? It's come up as undisclosed, obviously, like a lot of transfers do when it goes on Sky Sports and stuff like that, but to our knowledge, it's a £3.5 million deal, and he's going to be here for 4 years, so till he's only 23, which is really a strange thing to say, but he's only 19 at the moment, and he's obviously, we haven't loaned him back to Birmingham. That was one thing that was massively talked about when this transfer was in its early stages. People were saying, well, it looks like we're going to have to loan him back to Birmingham, that's going to be part of the deal, but Birmingham are going to want him back to the end of the season. And me and my dad both said to each other that we didn't really see a point in that. I mean, if you're going to buy a player, I always think buy the player. You look at Origi last season, who was at Lille and didn't perform very well, and I'm sure a lot of that's because in his head he knew, well, you know, I'm going to Liverpool at the end of the season, so this doesn't really matter. And I think the same would happen with Demarai. Plus, if he's talented enough, why not put him in now? If we've identified him as a talent, whether that be for the future or whether that be now, surely we'd rather develop him at us. Because, I mean, he's played over 70 games for Birmingham in the Championship. It's not someone like Ben Chilwell who this season's out on loan at Huddersfield and is getting Championship games under his belt. Demarai Gray's played a lot of Championship games. I mean, you can see all his stats to the side of it. He's played a lot of Championship games and he's been on the field for a lot of minutes. So we're not signing an inexperienced kid despite his age. Now, what will he offer to us? I'm sure a lot of you can see from his clips there that he's got absolutely lightning pace. He's got pace to burn. Now, Nathan Dyer obviously has got pace. We know Mara's got pace. Albrighton hasn't got a searing pace, but Demarai Gray looks like he could come in and be the fastest player. I mean, his pace is frightening, like Raheem Sterling's, and we saw Sterling caused us problems a few weeks ago with his pace, and Gray seems to have that attribute on lock. His pace is sensational, but also to go along with that, he seems to have the tricks in his locker. He seems to be the step overs, the body feints, the drifts inside and out, and he looks like he can kind of do it on both feet. He's obviously dominant on one foot. He likes cutting in from the right, they've said, so hopefully if he can learn his two-footedness, then that'll be a massive benefit for us. Now, there's a few kind of scouting reports I've read of him, and people who've seen Birmingham I've been talking to on Twitter and on various social media and asking them what his biggest strengths are, what his biggest weaknesses are. Now, they've said strengths is pace, trickery, he's not afraid to run at a man, he'll run at a man, and also his work rate, they say, is very good, and I'm sure Ranieri will have identified that as a massive thing before bringing him into the club, because look at our team, work rate's one of the most important features of our play this season and has been for a few seasons, so I'm sure he'll have noticed that Demarai has that work rate. A few people have said he might be a bit lazy to track back, but others I've spoken to have said he tracks back consistently, so until I see him play for us, then I can't really make an opinion. His negatives, they say, his end product could do with a bit of work. Now, he's 19 years old, so hopefully that'll come over time. You look at Sterling, his end product's still the area of his game that haunts him. People say he doesn't score enough goals, doesn't get enough assists, and the same has been said about Demarai Gray. He doesn't score really enough goals for his potential and his ability that he has. But hopefully we'll see him for the first time against Tottenham this weekend. I can't imagine he won't be playing. I imagine he will be playing. Obviously, I'll talk about the team more when my preview video comes out for the Tottenham game. But I imagine he's going to play, I imagine he's going to start, because it's a wonderful opportunity. Like, he's 19 years of age, it's an FA Cup game, we don't really care about that much because we're doing well in the league. So it's the perfect opportunity to get him involved, and especially because it will give Mahrez a break, or Albrighton a break, or both of them a break, and Dyer can play on one wing, he can play on the other. So for me it's a very good signing, and the reason it's a great signing, I think, in my eyes is that even if he's a massive failure and he never proves to live up to his potential that's so talked about him, we've only spent £3.5 million on him. We haven't spent 12, 15 million that you see flown about these days for young English players. He's 19, he's English, and he's talked about as being one of the hottest prospects in the country, and we've secured him for £3.5 million. I think everyone sees that as a bargain because it's kind of a risk-free investment. And these days, £3.5 million is nothing in football. And if it goes wrong, I mean, look at Gökhan Inler, he was £3 million, not done as much, but no one's saying, oh, it's a waste of money, because £3 million's nothing these days, whereas Kramaric, people are saying it's a waste of money because we're not playing him enough for the fee we paid for him, and Ulloa, the same, arguably, but his is a bit different because he does feature quite a lot for us. But £3.5 million, it looks like a bargain at the moment. Will it prove to be a bargain? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. We don't know how he's going to adapt to the Premier League. We don't know how he's going to adapt to the team. We don't know how he's going to fit in. Look at Tom Lawrence, for example. He was poor for us, I thought, when he came on. Nick Powell last season when he was on loan, and obviously United hasn't made an impact, but both were good Championship players, or Tom Lawrence, sorry, for this season is a good Championship player for Blackburn. So you never know how people are going to make that step up. I still think I'd like to bring another player in. I've said about a striker. I still think Charlie Austin would be a wonderful option to bring in. Milik from Ajax, talked about that one, seems to have gone a bit quiet now. Nigel de Jong's another one who people have talked about coming in, possibly, but I still think we need another striker because Gray has said he can play as a striker but prefers to play on the wing, likes playing on the left-hand side to cut in on his right foot, so obviously Albrighton's position's the most under threat, and Albrighton's had a few really poor games recently for us, so if Gray can impress in this FA Cup game and, I don't know, get a goal or get an assist or just show his ability, then Albrighton's place could be under a bit of pressure. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Gray play this weekend. I'm sure he will play, and it'll be great to see him in a Leicester City shirt. Great to see what he can do. And like I've said, it's just exciting to have a player with potential. He's 19 years old. He's got 5 years left in him till he gets to Mahrez's age at this point. I mean, you peak at your career now at 27, 28. So we've got, if we keep this kid for 9 years, we'll get 9 good years out of him. Ben Chilwell apparently convinced him to come along with Ranieri. Chilwell, we know, one of our finest young players, and played with him at England under 20, under 19, under 18 level. So thank you, Ben. Demarai comes in. Hopefully he can make an impact. Leave your comments down below what you think about this signing back Demarai Gray. Do you think it's a risk-free investment? Do you think he'll live up to his potential? Any Birmingham fans also watching this, let me know. Please like the video because Leicester have signed a new player, an exciting young prospect, 19 years old, could be a player for the future or could be a player for right now. And also subscribe to me for more videos whenever we sign a player or for every preview and review of Leicester City games or any Leicester City news. Thank you very much. Come on, you foxes.